Hey, Josh and Nick coming at you again with another Wirecast tip. The next thing that we're going to explore here in this particular video in how to get a better picture, especially so that that can get you a really good green screen when using Wirecast, is how to lock your exposure. Exposure is how bright or dark the image is when you have video. Now, maybe you've experienced this before. You have administration come on and maybe or somebody in your staff, and they've got a really nice white shirt on, and when they come in front of the camera, their white shirt gets bright, and then it gets darker a little bit, and everything else around it gets darker. And that's adjusting the exposure so that that white isn't like blinding you, right? And so what that can do, though, is that can throw off your green screen and make all sorts of funny things happen. And so it's good to lock this exposure into place. And you want to lock it in place with a subject that's kind of like Yoda, that has some lights and some darks that they're wearing. You don't want to lock it in place with just your green screen on either. You do want a subject that's kind of in front of the camera. So how do we do that? We have to get ourselves out of automatic mode and into program mode. And I'm going to start that process by tapping on our little house up here, tapping auto, and then scrolling down to P for program mode. Once I'm in program mode, what I can do is over here a little camera with a gear icon pops up, and I can come down to exposure. Right now our exposure is A, meaning it's automatic, but I want to change that to manual, which it is right now. And I can click on different things in order to set the exposure. Notice I just clicked on the green, on a darker part of the green, and Yoda got, up in here, you started seeing the highlights fade away. But if I tap on Yoda's face, it's going to reset that. It's going to be really hard for you to see based off of this, but that shine kind of goes away. I can also drag this a little. Now, I don't want things to be really dark, right? I don't want it to be so dark that it's like, you're almost like, what am I looking at? Nor do I want it to be so bright that there are these highlights happening. And normally on the skin of individuals, whether their complexion is light or dark, right, we have that shine that just happens from the natural oils in our body. And we want to adjust things to where that shine is just kind of barely visible. We don't want it to be highlighting out like it sometimes does. So what I'm going to do with Yoda here is I'm going to adjust him down. And for us here, that's going to be about -0.5. And once I have that, I can tap the X, and notice that right up here underneath of my P, it gives me a little plus minus icon, which is our exposure, and shows that my exposure is locked in at -0.5, which is okay. And again, like our other settings, these settings stick. If you turn the power off and turn it back on, it's going to be there the next day, and that's great. If you lose battery power, I'm pretty sure that those settings go away. If your camera is just staying in your studio, it's good to lock these things in. But if you take it to go record something in the gym, or you want to go record a musical event that's going on, or you have students using it for a project, you're going to want to take most of these settings back to automatic. So this tip can again help you get a really nice green screen.